y'all. I know I am late with Real Housewives of Atlanta. Please forgive me. Life happens. Okay, life happens. I had to push it back. But welcome back to my channel, guys. It's your girl BRANDIJENAE, and we are here with another episode or another review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 12. Now let's just get into why it took me so long and why this is coming to you on a Friday. I actually had it scheduled. I pushed it every day, right? I went from, because of course Monday was the holiday, so I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday weekend and their day off on Monday. That's what I was doing, enjoying my day off. And so I didn't want to do a review that evening. And my partner, Word on the Curb, who I usually do the reviews with for Atlanta Housewives, she's kind of been preoccupied with some life stuff going on with her too. So anyway, I said, okay, well, I'll just schedule it for Tuesday. Well, honey, I got off work and was tired. I didn't really feel like getting into it. And I needed to rewatch the episode so I could take some notes. Pushed it to Wednesday. Wednesday came and I'm like, I am not feeling it yet again. Okay. So anyway, it is Friday. We are here and I'm about to get this review for Real Housewives of Atlanta out. Hopefully, I feel like when I just watched it, because let's see, when I did my notes, I was watching that it wasn't yesterday. I think it was Wednesday. And I don't even think I finished. So first things first, if you are watching this video and you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Also like this video, do that for me. It not only helps my channel, but it'll also introduce you to other creators that are talking about topics similar to what we are discussing here in this video. And drop down in the comments and let me know what you are rating this week's episode. It was real slow for me. And maybe the season is slow because I feel like every episode, we go back and check every episode. I think I've been really giving them pretty much even 6, not even like 7s, like just even 6, which, like I said, I already have said this season is better than 15 and 14. We can actually just kind of Saturday night has a season. I was watching the 40th anniversary or whatever it is, and they have a season that they wish they could forget. And that's the season. Those are what 14 and 15 of Real Housewives of Atlanta are for me. I'm just kind of like, listen, I wish we could forget those seasons ever even happened. And that sucks for Sanya and Marlo because they're not necessarily the reason why those seasons flopped. However, the seasons did flop, and I will do good to never revisit that season again. So again, but I just kind of been giving season 16 like even 6s. So when we get down to this episode, and not for nothing, right before I'm about to say this is pulling in around like a 3. But what's interesting about me kind of saying that is Britt was shown more on his episode. Is that ironic? It seems that way. Britt is not that girl. Britt not the girl she thinks she is, honey. And she probably a worse liar than Drew. She probably a worse liar than all of them. I would have to agree with that. Drew is just not a cute liar. I think she thinks what she does is cute. And it's not. Because, girl, you too old for that. Like, you too old. Let me grab my light, y'all. I just got on in here and got started because I did not want to push it off again. And I forgot to put my light on until I'm looking at myself like, girl, why you can't hardly see yourself? Okay, I could have put on a little makeup, but that's all good. This is what you got, okay? This is what you're getting today, okay? Let's get on to this review. So like I said, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you would rate this week's episode. Like I said, I'm giving it about a 3. Even with Phaedra coming back, I already said prior to this episode, I'm not excited about Phaedra returning. Let me just make this clear. as far as Real Housewives of Atlanta moving forward, I don't need any of the old castmates to come back. I am 1000% okay with them getting fresh new cast, and for the old cast to kind of transition and do something else. Because I watch all of the shows, I'm always watching something. So yes, I have evolved, and I want them to evolve too. I don't understand how people, maybe now this might speak to a mentality though, right? How people think like the show has been on for 16 years. Why are you still asking for, this girl? Like, even when like I said, Phaedra, let's talk about her. We know she's not gonna give us none of her personal life. So what is she here for exactly? Just to make faces and the ahs, and how funny, cute, cool, but we past that now, right? We are generally looking for some type of substance, at least on this show. Like, I think Phaedra did very well on Traitors, and she could probably go to House of Villains. She could probably do a lot of the other type of shows and do excellent. But the show where there's a personal relationship that you need to develop with the audience by sharing your story, she doesn't do that. So I don't know who these people are that is loving her and want her to come back. Like, I'm not sure who they are. I'm not sure what their mindset is like, because what you asking for real? Like, what are you asking for? So again, even with her returning, I just thought that the episode was really not that great. So let's like I said, I'm giving it a 3. Y'all drop down in the comments, let me know what you are rating it. And I'm gonna just start with my notes, honey. So it opens up with Kelly coming over to Shamia's house. Now listen, Shamia got the bottles of champagne that we know Shamia got plenty of money, honey. So yes, everybody get their own bottle, not even your own glass. But here's what I did know, because she did the like shake up and pop the bottle. I said, they wasting a lot of alcohol now, because where I'm from, I don't care how much money you got, you don't waste alcohol. What are you doing? But maybe when you got it like that, maybe you do. Clearly they did. So she popped the bottle for them. They sat down, and honey, she turned it right up from the bottle. Okay, like that. See, now, okay, let's get back into what I was saying last week about who is this hoe, right? Who is Shamia that is presenting herself to us now? When she turned that bottle up, it didn't look crass. Like, even though, let's say, as a young lady, maybe an old school lady, speaking of myself, like, if I'm in public, like if I go to a bar and I order a beer, I order a glass with it to have my glass poured in the beer, as opposed to drinking out the bottle. Now, if I'm at a picnic or something, I'm drinking out the bottle. You know what I mean? Like, you in a picnic, like nobody got time to have glasses. You know what I'm saying? Like, the atmosphere doesn't call for that. But if I'm in a bar, in a lounge, somewhere like that, give me a glass. Don't treat me like, like some streetwalker. That's a bit much, but y'all know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying all that to say, I enjoy seeing that part from Shamia, because that's felt real. That seems like something Shamia does on a regular basis, and didn't even feel like a put on. It felt like that's how she do. Like, yeah, we in here chilling, and you are at your house chilling. So that's another place in which, yeah, turn the bottle up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you at your house, and even if you got company at your house, in the words of Sheree, who gonna check you, boo? Right? So go on, do your thing. All right, so they got into, I say they really got money. Oh, right, because they sprayed the bottle. Anyway, Kelly talks about hosting the trip to Grenada and doing some charity work and stuff while they're there. Listen, one of the things I like about Married to Medicine when they do their trips, I love that they go and do a little like give back. They, as doctors, they go in and try to provide services to the area that they go visit. And that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool anytime you can see somebody that has like significance or abundance of something, and they can go and freely give. In the words of Shamir, and it's true, God loves a cheerful giver. And he does. Like sometimes I've said this about Candy, because I know like Candy is not personally my favorite housewife or favorite person like to watch, right? However, I understand why Candy is so blessed, and people don't understand it. Candy is blessed because she pays a lot forward if you just watch her. And she also does it in a way because she does it quiet. So she's helped people that they may end up exposing, like that she's come and helped. However, she's a quiet, it feels cheerful and quiet. And those are things that I think those are qualities in which we are, when we talk about paying it forward and then kind of sowing seeds into the universe. Like I had this whole conversation about tithing. And so people have this ickiness about tithing. I don't want to pay for the pastor's car. I ain't trying to pay for his house and that. And it's like what people don't understand is that tithing is a principle. It is not about you paying for somebody's stuff. That's the reason why your friends won't like your posts on Instagram right now, because they feel like if they like a little too much, you gonna get a little paycheck and they ain't trying to pay for your stuff. See, see what I'm saying? But but the principle is when you sow a seed, the seed, like you get it come back. When you put a seed in the ground and you water and fertilize it, it grows. And as long as you keep doing that, it get bigger and bigger. See, that's the principle. That's the principle. And you have to practice that. So what I'm saying about Candy is that I think Candy does a lot for people that she doesn't say anything about. And so that's why we see her being blessed in the way that she is. Because she's practicing her principle. And as long as people practice their principle, those are the people you're going to wonder why. Why do they get blessed? That's why. It would, unless you're able to tell, unless you're able to say somebody is actually being a shyster, like because you know that they may be doing some underhanded stuff, but that's not called a blessing. We call those ghetto blessings. We call those ghetto blessings, okay? But those are not the blessings that we're talking about. So anyway, back to the trip for Grenada. I really like the idea that they're going to get together and do that. This is the first time we've seen Housewives of Atlanta do anything like that. So, shouts out to Kelly for just kind of thinking about that and bringing it to that format. We see Portia house hunting with her sister Lauren and her mom. Now, I know we didn't expect to see Portia house hunting because we thought that she would be there with Simon. And of course, once we knew that they was getting a divorce, we just really didn't know where she was at. She's smart to go house hunting. You know what? This is my thing. And maybe I'm wrong. And I think she kind of explained it in this scene where she talked about the difference in her divorcing from Cordell and this particular procedure and the steps she took to make to protect herself about not a person not being able to put you out. Now, remember, Simon said it on Portia Family Matters. Simon told Dennis right out his mouth. He said, "Oh, I got people for that." Simon be ready to pack up and move them out, right? Like, and I guess rightfully so, if that's the way you move them in, right? The same way you came is the same way you leave. Pack it up, get out. I can understand that, but big out to Portia for just growing up. That's the thing about when you go through stuff, and eventually we'll get to my series about healing out loud here, but not today. But what I'm gonna say is when you go through stuff, you learn lessons. At least you're supposed to. You learn lessons and you take those lessons, forward with you. So in this marriage, she made sure to have a prenup, and she made sure to maybe note certain things like about her living arrangements, especially when she has a child, that protected her. That's why she showed up at Simon's house with the gangsters. Remember, he said, yeah, he went on Instagram or tweeted or something, but was like, yeah, she showed up with two big armed guys and like basically bogarted her way into his house. I believe that something like that did happen. I don't think he was exaggerating, um, maybe a little bit, but I believe that happened, right? She showed back up at at that house with some folks in hand to make sure she was able to get in because she is allowed to. And that's probably why we see Ralph in the basement with Drew. Like, those are the things you have to remember. And here's the other part: not everybody, Ralph specifically, is able to just get up and go get somewhere else to live. You know, now Ralph probably do want to just stick it to Drew too. However, that's just, I mean, not reasonable all the time to just be able to move. So, you know, I'm glad to see Portia did protect herself in that way. I'm not surprised that she would. I thought that that's how she had done anyhow. We do see Portia. I think Lauren asked Portia kind of like, well, what happened between, you know, you and Shamia? Like, when we was at the thing, it looked like it was a little heated. I like the way Portia handled this with her mom and her sister. Now, I know in the first episode, we saw Portia tell her mom about Shamia bringing her back, what Kelly said about why she take this lady husband, something like that. And we saw Miss Diane kind of say, like, well, you watch the dog who bring the bone. Listen, Diane wasn't wrong for saying that. That's you. Yes, you watch the dog who bring you the bone. Because that's correct. Whatever bones they bring in, which bones are they taking back? That I agree with Miss Diane. I agree with that. However, I love the way Portia handled this thing, especially off the heels of her and Shamia sat down, they hugged, they worked it out. I thought it was sweet and genuine. Now, today we realize that maybe something else has happened and they're not as close as what this particular scene would lead us to believe. However, moving into the next scene where somebody is bringing it up and there's a potential for you to rehash and rediscuss things that you already taken care of with your friend. So what she said to them flat out, she said, you know, we talked about it. We decided that we are not going to they, you know, like we're gonna be friends. We squashed the beef, we talked about it, and it's good. She didn't go into any detail about what Shamia said to her when she sat down. She, at least on that camera, because that's not to say that she didn't privately. And here's the thing: she able to talk to her mother about whatever she want to talk to her mother about. Some of y'all out here in these comments be like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, and like I said, with her Miss Diane happened to say what she said back to her daughter, there was nothing wrong with what she said to her daughter. The only thing is that they were on camera and we could all see and hear this. And so my point is, we didn't see her talk to her sister or Miss Diane about anything that happened at that table. And this is where Shamia has gone wrong in putting her friendship up on the table to be dissected by all of the public, because it's not going to work well for Shamia. And the reason why is because you didn't do just what Portia did. Portia had already been doing that. Portia has not been seen talking to any other lady about her friendship with you. She was seen talking to Angela because Angela brought the issue to her. But she damn sure didn't respond to Angela and didn't have anything to say back in rebuttal to Angela regarding her friendship with Shamia. And that's my point with Shamia is the problem in this breakdown of the friendship, because Shamia had no business having the type of conversations that she had with those strangers, because they are strangers. I know her and Kelly are close now, but that was still a stranger. So you had no business discussing details about your 20 plus year friendship with somebody you just met, and somebody who on the show, and somebody whose goal could very well be to out solidify their spot, all of that. So big Portia catching a lot of hell this season, right? For not being able to film, or in her house, not really having a storyline. And I'm gonna give her a little hell on this one because I'm not going over there to watch that YouTube page for none of that bull that they own. I watch you on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not subscribing to your life on YouTube. Pick one or the other. Now, if you want to get off of Real Housewives of Atlanta and you want to come over here to YouTube and do your thing on YouTube, I'll watch it there. But I'm not finna watch you in both places. Like, yeah, girl, get your shit together. Because you need to be. Now, I know she can't show the house because she can't film. Fine. We can see the house on Amazon Live. Again, I'm not over there watching those episodes because I thought she was going to do more closer to recaps. And this is the thing. She probably decided not to. She was starting off with that, but she probably decided not to for the same reason that I'm saying Shamia is the problem with this breakdown. Because if there's something, if the public is going to somehow get you to start discussing and talking about something that you have already hashed with your friend, or you know that you don't want to re-injure or reopen that wound, then you're just going to leave it alone. You're not going to put it up on the table for discussion. So I do think that that's probably why she kind of because she could see where this was going. I don't know if they knew this is where it was going while they was filming. But as the episodes are airing, she can see that this is where it is going. And I think that Portia has taken a stance to stay back where that's concerned. And so again, that, like I say, I think she has made the right step in protecting their friendship on this platform. And Shamia somehow got herself caught up. And I don't know if she got caught up. It reminded me of, like, I think I put a note on about comparing her to Eva. And maybe that's going to be later. But I did compare Shamia to Eva in a sense, because Eva's first season was kind of similar. Like, she came in and you was a little strong, because if you remember when she came back that second season, she kind of piped down a little bit because, like, yeah, girl, this is not America's Next Top Model, baby. Not only will these housewives read you for filth, so will the damn public. And she wasn't used to that, because when she was on America's Next Top Model, nobody was tweeting. None of that was happening. Eva was like on season 1 or 3 or something. She was in the very early seasons. So anyhow, we get to Kelly. Kelly take her dog for some pamper time. Honey, Kelly and this dog, getting the dog a massage, baby. And the dog is just like in heaven. Which is so really funny. It's funny. I don't really care for dogs in the sense of I don't have the attachment other people have to animals and dogs like that. Maybe some animals, but definitely not dogs. But it's just really cute sometimes to see the energy that people put into their pets. And I have a friend, I know a girl who has a dog, and she is like, it's funny because she reminds me of Kelly. Like, she literally would take her dog to go get a massage. Like, if she hasn't already did it. She found some little caps to go on the dog's nails, girl, like press-ons. And I was just like, if I like dogs, I would probably do the same thing, just because I'm a little extra like that too. I just happen to not like dogs because they just need a lot of your time and attention. I'm a cat lady personally, because cats kind of take care of themselves. I'm also a Gemini, so note that, because that's got a lot to do with it also. Anyway, Shamia stops at a radio station. She is promoting her new single. And she took the time to throw some shade at Drew. Her and Drew still got this little beef. Shamia is just going down the wrong road. So, and Shamia is on Drew's head. So she decides to go by to throw a little shade at Drew, which I thought was because, she went to Big Tigger's show, which that's the show she used to work on also. And so they kind of mentioned, like, well, you have another castmate that released some music. She like, oh, did they? Do I? And so they're like, well, yeah, Drew, she was like, oh, did she? Kind of like her music is like fluff or something. And let me take the time to just, I don't know, freshen somebody's memory or just get it off my chest. Shamia, girl, you the one just putting out a single. And not for nothing. I know, listen, I don't know Drew from her music. However, I know her from being a guest actress on The Game. When she was a guest actress on The Game, she played herself. She played Drew Sidor, which Drew Sidor was a pop star. Okay? Are y'all following me? She played herself. Now, I didn't know anything about her music because how old is Drew anyway? I feel like Drew is probably 10 years younger than me. Somewhere, Drew is not 40 yet, is she? Let's look that up real quick. But all I'm saying is when she was on The Game, even though I was watching The Game, and again, she played herself. So we know what that means, right? She didn't play a character. Now she is a character, but she didn't play a character, right? She played herself, okay, and she was a singer. So I was not familiar with her music. Maybe somebody during that time was. But my point in saying all of this to Shamia is like, girl, you really need to quit. Like you talking about, how hard it is to break into the industry. That's what she said last week on the after show. Drew has been in the industry. You are the one just getting here. Like, do somebody need to knock her upside the head and remind her? Like, I know you've been a friend on the show for the last 9 years or however long that's been. But yeah, like Drew been in this industry longer than you. Like, you really need to cut it out. And I'm taking up for Drew on that. Like, Drew don't deserve a lot of taking up, but I am gonna take up for her on that because, girl, who do you think you are? Like, like the song Shamia has is good. And let's be clear, it doesn't take much to get a good song. Listen to this trash that's out here now. All you need to do is rerun a beat, because that's what people really, half the time, people ain't even listening to what you're saying. They're just listening to the beat. So you get a good beat, that's half the battle. Okay? Good producer, good lyrics, that's the other half. So yeah, I just thought Shamia, I was like, Shamia, you're just being a little, I don't want to call her a mean girl because I don't look at Shamia that way. I don't think Shamia would ever be mean on purpose per se, but I just didn't like that. And like I said, she seemed like she on Drew head. I think that's the wrong tree to bark up. Maybe just going over to Britt. But anyway, we check in with Britt and her husband or whoever that man is, talking about the event for Bare and Naked, which is shapewear and clothing. All right, girl. It just sounds like a bunch of mess. Britt is, and listen, here's the problem with where Britt sits. Drew was there 3 years ago. See, like Drew got a little bit of confidence and everything because she finally getting like a real check. Not to say she wasn't getting a check before, but if you know Housewives and you know the way the pay scale goes, outside of like Candy is probably the one that came in really making a lot, like off rip. But it's the same for everybody in a sense. Like that first year, you're not making as much. It's the third year in which that's when you get like, boom, so she getting some checks now. That's why she got a little bit of confidence, a little about it. Okay. And rightfully so, girl. Go ahead. But where we talking about with Britt is kind of doing what most people do when they know they're going to be on a reality TV show. They get something together, like a business, something to promote, something, to bring in the extra income so that you can just maximize being seen by the amount of people that you're going to be seeing. Go ahead and add the business into your contract so that you can have events and allow the business to be shown on this television show, right? But here's the problem with Britt, because there's nothing wrong with that. I'm starting off. I just had to close my sweet doors because I couldn't keep them open. But anyway, I ain't on nobody's television show. This was 16 seasons in to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so yeah, girl, you got to do better at presenting this business that you keep telling us you opened up an insurance firm in 2020. It's only 2025. Um and I don't quite understand when she says she sold it. I don't quite understand. Did you sell it to somebody for them to take over your clients and take over? Like, is that what we're talking about? Or did you just close your doors, girl? Because it's a difference between that. And then with this bare and naked, um, it doesn't feel like anything you really put time into. It seems like the equivalent of what Sheba Sheree did, which was you went and order wholesale clothing, slapped your damn tag on it, slapped your, logo on it. Well, even Brit didn't even put a logo. She probably didn't even put a tag. Because do you know that you have to get trademarked for items of clothing that you want to sell and put your personalized tag on? That costs money. It takes time and it costs money. And I'm figuring with something called Bare and Naked, she probably is not able to get that copyrighted or trademarked. So I'm almost certain she doesn't have tags with her name inside of her clothing. And it's like Shamir, well, we'll get down to when they got the actual bare naked. So I just was kind of like, okay, girl, I guess we just gonna watch you do this shit. Then we check in with Charles and Angela. They go to one of their properties. I kind of am a little confused. I guess it sounds like Angela hired somebody, I guess, to clean. Was they supposed to clean it out? Was they supposed to stage it? They were supposed to do something that it seems like they did not do. And here's what I didn't understand about Angela. Angela is being a little shifty about something. And listen, it's no different than any other housewife. Of course, they're going to put all the attention on somebody else so that you just, leave their little stuff alone. But what housewives never count on is, as the public is viewing these things, for them to figure out things for themselves, right? So this is what I mean with Angela. Of course, she being forthcoming about the debt she in, like $2 million worth of debt. Again, this house, she's had to pull down the price, like back to what they pretty much bought it for, I think she said. Not really sure why that's happening. And it may be, like something about something she needs to do to the house. But this is what I'm getting to. I'm confused with that because I don't know what it is that she's doing that she couldn't be the person that's making sure whatever she hires somebody to do is getting done. And here we go with when you just like buy stuff and just start to do something. I think a lot of people feel that way. Like, oh, let's just get some real estate because, okay, that's the biggest, or I feel like I'm going to say the fastest way to generational wealth or to creating some type of like wealth line is to acquire property because property generally appreciates and not depreciates. So you usually, the longer you might have something, the better you do. The more you put into it, the amount grows. However, it seems like she's dropping the ball on some of those things that need to happen when you have property, like the upkeep, making sure they clean, and I guess making sure ain't no squatters in there. I wonder. Listen, side note, if I knew that you could just go move in an empty house, and even when the people came, they couldn't put you out, and they wouldn't put you out, and maybe they just come and live with you, I'd have been in somebody's empty house. I know a couple of these big old mansions that's over here, over in Indy, that's empty. I should have been in one of them, honey. Been in one of them. I had no idea. No idea. All right, so we just gonna get on down to Brit's event. This event was a mess, honey. I think I don't even know anybody's event. I guess maybe Drew's, but that's going into one of those seasons we're gonna forget about the drop it with Drew. Like it was that type of event. Horrible. Oh, Britt talked about how she wanted it to have like a country club theme. This is a shapewear event, okay, but she wants y'all at the country club. And I'm guessing it's the club for her housing edition because the girls start to arrive and Britt ends up taking Shamia and Kelly like on the golf course. Kelly kind of mentioned like the neighbors seemed like they didn't know who she was, and they probably don't. I don't think that was any surprise. Britt was acting really weird. Like she was acting like she was performing. She was putting on. So she got this event. She had it the cheapest way she knew how at the clubhouse in her own community, right? But then she's going to pay special attention to the people who she know is going to have a confessional. Somebody is going to ask them directly about the event. So particularly her castmates. And then she had bloggers at the event because I saw all about the tea over there. We got him on the cameo, okay? And he did confirm. So let's get to the fact of them not having no food. Well, like I said, she takes Britt and Shamia on the golf course to hit some balls around. And I guess maybe I don't know what it felt out of place for them to be on the golf course. They were dressed up for a brunch. What do you mean we're going on the golf course? Like, yeah, Britt, go sit down somewhere. Let me go back. Okay. And what the note I have is the event is subpar at best. The girls start to arrive. Britt takes Kelly and Shamia on the golf course to play golf. Although they are dressed for brunch, the other guests are inside. Now it wasn't like a big thing where that's what they were supposed to do. So I don't know why Britt did that. I got a note here that says not Drew throwing shade about not knowing what someone does. I don't know. I can't think of who she might have been talking about in that moment, but it was pretty similar to, like I just said, the drop it with Drew and her thing. Like we've never really known what she was doing. We knew she was a singer. We know that she acts, but yeah, like how do you make your money? Because we didn't know none of her music. Okay. So yeah, I'm like, not you, girl, throwing shade at somebody else for doing the same stuff you do, because we're not gonna do that. Britt runs into a disaster, and all the guests got menus. So one of the maybe event planners, maybe assistants, end up telling Britt like everybody got menus. So Britt says, now she comes to the table, and this is the damage control, right? Britt is really like working overtime to make sure the event looks a particular way and that certain information is like handled with the people it need to be handled with. So she didn't want the whole room to get menus. Like the whole room was not supposed to get entrees. Only the girls at the special table was supposed to get menus so that they could order entrees. Everybody else was supposed to get like hors d'oeuvres or something, which was the cheapest thing ever. So let's go back to at the top when I was talking about sowing seeds, right? This is where we're going again. How dare you invite people to come spend money with you, but you can't spend no money on them? You see, are you picking up what I'm putting down? You see how that just like, where's the reciprocity in that, right? You don't even want to buy these people a meal, but you then invited them out to introduce them to your brand and your clothing line, of course, with the purpose of wanting them to purchase something from you. You can't feed a piece of chicken. You sitting around here scrambling. oh my God, only so-and-so was supposed to get menus. I was like, girl, now that is the sign of brokenness. And this is why where did they find her? Like, I don't like, where did they find her? And now we know for sure there's no vetting process, because girl, I've never seen nothing broker than that on national television, unless the show is actually supposed to be promoting brokenness. But girl, yeah. So like I said, so I'll use that example just because it comes up, and I'm saying, like, you can't be asking for people to spend money with you, and then when you have an event, you are cheap about the event you're throwing for them. Now, if you got the stuff sponsored and you didn't have to necessarily come out your coin, that's fine. Nobody's saying that, but that wasn't the case. You literally are saying, like, you had no intention on feeding the rest of them people. So let's go to All About the Tea, because he did a video. I happened to see a clip, and he confirmed that she did get food for other tables. But he said he absolutely felt like the only other table that had gotten food was like the table he sat at, which had other bloggers at that table, and that her and her husband kept coming over to the table, checking on them, like how waiters do. That's kind of the way he made it sound. Like they kept coming to check and make sure they was okay. And because they're a table full of bloggers. So what they didn't want them to do is leave there and go and spray them about this raggedy ass brand launch or whatever the hell was going on. You just invited the people to come play make believe and dress up. And I know a 53, 55, how old is Cynthia now? 57. However old Cynthia is now, I know damn well she said, get me the hell up out of here, because I don't need to come here for this. Don't you waste my time again for this. Okay? Britt, don't waste none of our time for that. Don't waste the production's time for that. Get your shit together or get the hell on. Go. Baddies East is calling you. Get over there. Or maybe she okay with bad and bougie, because she is bad and bougie. And I mean, I ain't talking about oh, you bad, girl. I'm talking now. She bad. Yeah, she bad and bougie. Take it how you will. So let's see. She gives the peach holders a box with some shapewear in it in front of the whole. This is another thing. No etiquette. Let me get this out. What I understand at this point is Britt is not just from the hood, lady, from the ghetto. She's not from just the hood. She is from the ghetto. And it's because of this stuff. Like, nobody acts that way. That or not somebody really bougie, not somebody really that kind of has some type of etiquette about themselves. That's why they talk about what they say, wealth whispers, but rich screams, something like that. It's that same thing. Like, you kind of screaming out that you're this way, but everything you do show that you're not. Like, you do not have etiquette. You're not classy and demure. You just are able to dress like that. And again, this event really proves it. Who orders entrees for 10 people in the room and you have invited 50? And then you give gifts to 10 people in the room in front of these 50. Like, that's rude. And what are they there for? Anyway, let's get on to everybody opening up their gift, though. Seemed like Britt threw Angela a little shade. Angela said she had an extra large. That probably was to be shady, just because Angela is tall, right? I don't think she's wide, but she's tall. Britt explains that she started the line basically because she went So this is Britt taking the opportunity to explain what made her want to start the Bare and Naked. So she says back when she went and got her BBL, the shapewear that they gave her was really ugly. And she I said I'm not sure why that mattered. And then that she started her business in 2020, she took the whole staff that worked for her to Miami, and they was able to get whatever work they wanted done. I feel like this is another attempt for her to like convince us that she has money. The fact that you didn't feed all them people in the room says otherwise. And I don't have nothing else to say. Like, it ain't nothing else you can say to me, because that's bad freaking etiquette. That's not like you have a birthday party or a party, right? And you say, okay, it's 6 to 10, right? And okay, 6 to 10 in that time frame, like the etiquette would be that you serve some type of food. Because if you asking people to come to do something between the hours of 6 and 10, those are normally dinner hours. So you provide something for somebody to eat, proper etiquette. The other thing is, what was I about to say? I had just lost that thought. It just jumped right on out my brain. I hate perimenopause. My God, this is so ridiculous. Oh, but I was talking about how we know that, like, she's broke. Like, she is broke. Like, that was broke behavior. Shamia shaded the box that the shapewear came in. I mean, it was just like a brown. Listen, the brown box is fine. Bare and Naked, I can get that, because I would think that Bare and Naked would indicate minimalistic, right? Minimalist. So, right, you're not gonna have this box that's got a whole bunch of stuff on it. However, yeah, where's the tissue paper at, girl? Like, you shopping at Neiman's, they not putting your shit just in there. They giving you some tissue paper or something for all that money you paying. Like, come on. And that's part of like the presentation. Again, that's broke bitch behavior. And I should know, because I am a little broke. I am a little broke. I ain't saying that because I ain't got the like thousands and stuff these other people have. I just got good etiquette. I got good manners. I got good etiquette, and I'm polite. So you'll never know how broke I am. Check that. Because I ain't never gonna show up doing that. Like, that's so it was cringy, to be quite honest. And then, like I said, then she sits down after you let these people know that, oh, I really didn't want everybody to order food. I just had intentions for y'all to order food. Then you're going to tell them you invited your whole staff to go to Miami and they could get whatever they wanted at the plastic surgeon, whatever they wanted. Girl, sit down somewhere. She was probably screwing the plastic surgeon or got some type of like group deal. Because we know damn well, the same way you ain't want to feed them people, we know damn well you ain't paid for everybody's plastic surgery. Like, girl, bye. Bye. Don't say that no more. What did he say? Girl, shut up. Don't tell nobody else that. Anyway, Britt asked Charles, is he enjoying himself? Because Charles did come with his wife. Everything was nice. I think he said, oh, no, everything was nice at the table. Everybody's getting along until Angela says Charles doesn't have a side baby. So she kind of chimes in to let her know, like, to basically bring it up at the table in front of Charles. So Britt responds that she wasn't one of Charles' whores. And so Charles would say, well, I don't have any whores. Now he done chimed in. And Portia said, do I got any pearls? Because, baby, they need to be clutched. Which, yeah, they do. Like, hello, nobody was expecting that to happen. Now Drew decides this is the perfect time for her to chime in and tell Britt that they need to have a conversation. Kelly chimes in on Drew to say, well, when you have that conversation, just make sure you tell the truth. At this time, Kelly and Britt are still getting along, right? Drew turns around and implies that Kelly is fake. Shamia decides that she's going to chime in and ask Drew, how did she end up getting called a lapdog? Now, this is what I don't understand. when Drew did call you a lapdog and she doubled down to say that she had, Drew feel like she can go toe to toe with you because she feel like you on her same level. She actually, because this is her 3rd season as a peach holder, she actually is hazing you and really trying to put you in your place. Cause Shamia, you still 1st season peach holder. Like, you may have been a friend to this show, but you still 1st season peach holder. So in the hierarchy, Drew is above you because this is her 3rd season. We just calling it like it is. But she decided, like I said, that's the perfect time for her to get in. Let's see. Drew does what she does best about the lapdog comment. So she does she does go ahead and say, like, yeah, I said it because I felt like when you did this and you said that. Like, she talks herself in circles. I don't know why Shamia did the because whatever she said, it was like Drew was kind of like not apologizing, but trying to apologize, but saying but I still think you're a lapdog. But if that hurt you, I'm sorry. That's kind of what it was. And so Shamia, like, well, I don't know why she started. Like, it was childish and stupid in a sense, because if somebody is calling you a dog, unless you are validating that you might be one, I guess you wouldn't bark. So I don't know why she barked. She got see, and that's the thing. What's happening with Shamia? She's getting really caught up in this 1st season peach holder. It's not landing well. And the thing about Bravo, she probably should have a conversation with Nene Leakes, and probably Bethany. Reason why I say she should probably have a conversation with them. See, like, Portia doesn't know what it's like to no longer be a favorite. And so what she also doesn't know is the treatment that you get, like, when they're trying to usher you in as the favorite. Like, so I'm saying that to say, like, Shamia was at upfronts. I don't think I'm gonna have to go back to those photos. I don't remember any other peach holder being there from Atlanta, but I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. I mentioned that because some of that stuff, like the upfronts and the persons that are selected to promote different shows, they kind of are being ushered as the face of, like that. And so I'm saying this to say Shamia is getting caught up in a lot of stuff, not recognizing that certain stuff might read well in the moment, but they don't age well and read well after the moment, like, because you're being filmed. So that's the part. This is why it is reality TV, as opposed to something being scripted, because the reactions and the outcomes are not listed in the script for you. Everything, even if it is orchestrated, right, to go down a particular way, whatever your reaction is to what is happening is the reality. And so like I said, she doesn't understand that something might work well in the moment, but because you're being filmed, because it gets edited, it may not land well when it's time to show on the show, and it may not age well. Because yeah, what's okay to say 10 years ago, you can't say that today, right? Same, so let's see, where am I at? This is where I said, okay, I know Britt is not just from the hood, she is from the ghetto. Because like I said, the girls are bickering. I done gave you the order and how they chiming in. So Britt decides, like, she needs to put an end to this bickering. She gets the ladies' attentions and basically tell them, hey, if they got something that they need to discuss, they can take it outside. There you go again with one of them hood fucking sayings. It's the 3rd one. That girl is from the ghetto. Like that girl is from the ghetto. Like, because in each instance, you are saying these hood phrases, and they are not even warranted, right? You're not even like it. You gonna invite those ladies to go take it outside. take it outside, me and y'all going to fight. That's what Portia said. She said, oh, she wants y'all to go outside. Like I was like, yeah, she did tell them take it outside. Listen, I'd have told them to just stop, or leave, right, because this is not what that's for. But to take it outside, that's hood talk. That's ghetto talk. That girl is from the hood, and she is trying so hard. Poor thing. What they say, you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. Like, that's it. It's still a pig. Next, we see Drew looking like she's about to sign a deal. I think that's what we did. We see her going to like some record label studio. I am not really sure about where Dennis is in that. I feel like maybe Dennis is a part of her management team. Is making me feel like about the Misa and Mary J. Blige lawsuit, the little deal with that. I think maybe that's something similar to whatever Dennis' role is in her signing this deal, and her needing to call Dennis to clear the air about Portia saying she was trying to sleep with him. I can't stand Drew. Drew really be reaching. So she calls Dennis on the phone. She had a conversation with Dennis. Dennis says, no, he didn't say that. Listen, we saw it on the television. That is not the way it happened. Portia is dragging that particular text, sentence, whatever it is, dragging it out. But Drew, you running around trying to make sure you clear your name, like it's not even fucking necessary, like at all. Phaedra is back. Portia goes to visit Phaedra. Phaedra admits that lying to Candy wasn't her finest moment, so that's kind of in her intro package. Her intro package, she kind of says like, the last time y'all saw me, it wasn't my finest moment. Like, everything was going good. I couldn't believe the road I was on. And then things were thrown my way, but we rose above until she played with fire. So that is the way she describes that, the dungeon gate with Portia and Candy as not her finest moment and playing with fire. I don't know that we need an admission. If you go back to that season, I think the admission was there, but I do think that there has not been any acknowledgement. And the thing, like I said before, when you are in TV land, you kind of get to do that when in TV land. Like, even though she's a reality TV star and we know it happened, because she's been gone for so long, you do kind of get to come back and you can just leave that where it is and then move on. So it looks like that's pretty much where we are. She addressed it as minimum as possible, and I don't think we're gonna get any more than that. So that's that on that. So Portia and Phaedra both say that they have continued to be friends. They cool. Portia talk about living with the little people. Excuse me, not Portia. Phaedra talked about how she liked little people. She was talking about Kelly being so little. I thought to myself, like, you about as little, right? Is Kelly smaller than Phaedra? Because Phaedra pretty small too. But anyway, Phaedra says Britt is a woman around town, a woman about town. I can't wait to see what do come out about Britt. I think we only got a few more. Well, it must got to be a little more than a few. Anyway, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see whatever kind of ends up coming out about Britt and why everybody has turned on Britt in a sense. Well, we all saw it from the beginning, though. None of us see it for Britt at all. Britt, this is your last season. I'm almost certain Bravo has put you on ice. Like, you ain't got to worry about being put on ice. You are on ice. And I don't see you coming back next season at all. If anybody cares, I don't want to see you back next season. Drop down in the comments and make sure you let us know if you want to see Britt back. And I know the answer is probably no. It's like I said, for her to be featured in this episode more than any other episode, I feel like, especially with her having an event, because the focus was kind of on her. It was the worst episode that I've rated, and I didn't even do that on purpose. I just gave what I rated the episode in general. And I actually used the way that it's holding my attention to rate it also. Like I said, that's the last note I got, y'all, for the episode is Phaedra and Portia sitting at the house talking. Portia invites Phaedra on the trip to Grenada. They call Shamia and Kelly on the phone. Everybody's happy. Phaedra says her and Shamia are good. Shamia said Phaedra came in with good energy, so she, confirmed that they're good. I can't remember what happened after that. I really can't. I can't even remember how it ended. That's why I'm giving the episode a 3. Like, I don't remember what else happened. Was that the end? That might have been the end. I don't know. Maybe that was the end. Hey, oh, okay. You say I've been watching Acton Wiggins. What's his channel called? Did you just tell me about him? Cause I think I did follow, but I've been kind of out the loop. You give it a 7. Okay, so you got a 7. That's okay. I gave this particular episode, I'm giving it like a 3. Like it was way. Armand. Okay, I know Armand. Right. Okay, I just follow him over on Instagram. I gotta pull him over here on YouTube. I haven't been watching. Well, I did watch. I watched the United States versus Diddy on Tubi. I think TMZ does that special every week. I haven't watched this week, so I got to do that one. And then I watched Carlos has Ebony K. Williams on Wednesdays. I like Ebony K. Williams. Ebony K. Williams in the right atmosphere, doing what she does. She's a lawyer and a judge, and she's smart as a whip. So hearing her talk about this is right on the money, but she may not have done good as a New York housewife. Poor thing. Oh yeah, so you entertained by the brunch. I just finished about the brunch, and that's what I was saying. Like, I really feel like that brunch really told us just how broke she was. And how classless she is, how ghetto she is, like how she don't have any manners, Okay. I'm gonna make sure I get when we done with this live. I'm getting over there to go do it. I gotta give y'all the review for and just like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go over there and see it because I bet it was good. And I like that last week they had a guy from TikTok. And the cutest thing happened is I watched the show and then I went over to TikTok and all of a sudden the boy popped up on my damn TikTok. Go figure. Yes, I do too. But back to the brunch. So yeah, I was just like, it was real low budget. Brit doesn't have any class. And funny enough, somebody that kind of gives that air and talks out their nose, usually they probably don't have any class. Because if you gotta act like that, and it doesn't come out natural, then it probably is an act. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know why you invited people and you only plan to feed 5, or why you would bring gifts and then only give them to 5 people that was there. That is so tasteless. It really is. It's so tasteless. So I wasn't entertained by the brunch. I was actually disappointed. And here's the thing. We are 16 seasons in to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I am not trying to look for somebody to build a career. Like, that's what I'm saying. Where did y'all even find this girl? At this point, are they putting ads out on Craigslist for to audition for the Housewives? Because where did they find that hoe at? Where did they find her? Who suggested? Who dropped her name in the bucket? I don't like, because it just, I don't like, she doesn't fit. She doesn't fit. I see the country club suing them for non-payment. Who? And I just said that clearly she used the things like to pay as little money as possible. Little money as possible. Brit is a joke. That's correct. She is. That's why I said she can go on. She has been put on ice, baby. You can go on, sit down. Don't even worry about getting another season. Go on and get over there to Baddies East or the Zeus people. They might have something for you. Or maybe where is it that Tamar is doing this cooking show with Miss Evelyn? Like, check them people out. Check them people out. Because what you giving over here on Housewives of Atlanta, baby, like even the viewers, like, excuse me, honey, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, we are, Housewives of Atlanta is the creme de la creme of the Housewives franchise. Period. What are you doing with this low budget shit? Like, for real. And it was, I mean, like I said, it was worse than Drew. At least with what Drew was doing was just trying to figure out her way, right? You know, she was just trying to find her way. And she was just trying to present herself as busy. Which that's why it seemed like the drop it with Drew was like, well, is that your business? Or are you an ambassador? Like, what's happening here? But the whole, I'm gonna pay for 6 people to eat, and I really didn't mean for the rest of them to get menus, girl, bye. That's exactly it. That's what I'm saying. That's your speed. Even not for nothing, because I don't mean to be offensive, but I like, this is my YouTube channel and I'm expressing my opinion. Even the people who like Brit, they probably watch that type of stuff. Like, I think the most of us that feel the same types of ways that we feel about Brit, we probably have the same type of like wavelength about the way we do things and go about things. Like, anybody sitting up, like, I don't know, going up for anything Brit did in this season, you probably got a low mental capacity or something. Sorry, like, because that's kind of what I mean. I know I know how people feel about people looking at reality TV, like, oh, it's trash TV, and right, like, oh, it's what they used to call the TV, like the stupid box, or you know what I mean, like those types of things. So I know in general, people have those opinions about people who even watch this stuff. But I do think there's a hierarchy about what you watch. Listen, Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives kind of like are at my minimum. I did watch a couple seasons of Bad Girl Clubs early. That was my limit, watching Bad Girls Club. I am not a person that encourages people to fight. I don't watch fights. Even on my Facebook, you know, like, funny how the people on Facebook, I use this analogy too, like, they just like misery, like they really are miserable people. So a lot of times I find that the people on Facebook, the videos that they share, the videos that they look at is of people fighting and just all kind of ghetto shit. And I don't watch that stuff. Like, that's not entertaining to me. They said production had to go in the kitchen and dig up. I believe it. They said they was in their 7th season. Okay, see, right. So that's what, right. Speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up, because even as a housewife franchise, they had to like work their way to be accepted publicly. Like, and who, like, even with Nene Leakes becoming like one of the biggest kind of breakout stars of Housewives of Atlanta, like, her getting Broadway, her getting the show she got on the like the Modern Family, was that what she was on? I can't remember. But those types of things, those were big freaking deals, especially where she is concerned, because wasn't nobody in Hollywood fooling with no reality star. Like, they was like, what? Are you kidding me? And look at today. Like today, we know the difference between the celebrity and the reality star, but I don't think they do. Like, they feel like they are, okay? So to your point, that makes a lot of sense to me, because that is kind of the evolution as far as acceptability would go. Because at first everybody like, oh, it's trash, and why you want to see them do this and that, all of it. Of all people, it was my man that had me watching. That is so funny. That is so funny. I had a guy that I dated that he watched, and not for nothing, like, he didn't watch it like it wasn't like, ooh, it's Sunday night, Housewives coming on, but he watched. And not for nothing, that, like, I'm single, currently dating now, even though it is a joke. But what I'm saying is, men don't realize some of that little stuff for me. It's kind of like what'll give you like some brownie points. Not that you have to, like, you ain't gotta know more about the housewives than I do. You ain't really gotta know all that much. If you can just sit back and enjoy what I'm watching without, making me feel or trying to see like it's just so boring, you can't stick through it. That really would mean a lot to me. So when I was dating him, we got along really good, because we could do that little stuff. We could lay in the bed and watch some Basketball Wives. Like, we didn't always have to figure out what to watch. Like, I don't know. We like the same things, so that made it easier. Made it easier. But like I told y'all, listen, I forgot the rest of the episode. Maybe just maybe that was the end of the episode. Miss Dugan, since you here, was that the end of the episode when Portia and Phaedra met? Because I don't remember nothing else that happened after the end. And I didn't go back and rewatch it a third or fourth time. That, like, for me, that lets me know that I didn't like the episode, because it feels like, even the thought of me having to go back and watch it, it feels like a chore. So that's why I gave them a 3. And I feel like the whole season, as I stated before, y'all, I think they just been coasting at about just some mid-level. I'm looking forward to the trip to Grenada. I always love seeing the housewives do their cast trips. One way or the other, whether it's gonna be some mess or if they have fun. Okay, that was the end. Thank you, then. Okay, because I'm like, I ain't got no more notes after this. So I couldn't remember, like, was that the end or did I just check out? I don't know. About Faye 5 minutes. You listen. I'm not here for Phaedra. I don't dislike her, but I don't think she's a good fit for the housewives. In the era that we had Phaedra, fine. Now that she's gone, now that we have like different expectations of some of the housewives, I think Phaedra would do well. She did well on Traders. If they did another Love Hotel because she's single, maybe she'll go and do that. I don't know if we're gonna get an Ultimate Girls Trip, another one, because maybe Brandy just ruined that. But I really enjoy Ultimate Girls Trip. So I would like to see her do that. But as far as coming back as a full-time housewife, I pass. Because we know she's not gonna give us no personal story. And if she does give us personal story, it's gonna have a twist to it. And nobody feel like being bothered with that. Like, yeah, we passed that now, Phaedra. I mean, maybe not, because they did hire her back. Maybe it's just me that's past it. I don't know, but I am. And I wasn't looking forward to Phaedra. So she's just there for me. let me go back to here. You say you're giving the season a 7 so far. That's about where I like. That's what I said. Most of the episodes I've been coasting at about, I would say, between 6 and 7. So I do agree with you as the overall season. So far, that's about what they did. Listen, it's been a far better cry than 14 and 15. Every time I talk about season 16, y'all gonna hear me say that, because those two seasons, like, I was ready for them to throw the whole show in the trash. Like, don't bring us nothing. Like, just stop. Like, just stop where you are. She has. They pumping her up to do something. Well, I knew she was gonna. I said as soon as she showed up on Real Housewives of Dubai, I knew it was only a matter of time before she circled her way back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Of course, that's before Candy decided that she would leave, and I want to say that was back towards season 14 of Real Housewives when Phaedra made her appearance on Real Housewives of Dubai. But it's the franchise, right? So, like I said, I knew when she popped up over there, she about to be popping up somewhere else. And next thing you know, that's how we end up finding out she was going over to Married to Medicine. She said, I'm here for her shenanigans. Folks are like 50-50 on her. I will take the boys and her shade. That's all I need. Okay, you know what? I cannot disagree about that. She does give good shade. And it's funny, like I can agree with that. See, but the only thing with the boys is, are we gonna get to see them? I don't know. Because I feel like she didn't give us anything on Married to Medicine. So I mean, listen, she here now, so we're gonna finish it out. But like I said, for me, she could have stayed gone, I think. But maybe she will add some cute commentary to the rest of this season. Because maybe the season can use a little pick me up. Maybe, yeah. Britt bringing it down a lot. Like I don't know. I really I'm really tired of them having to recast, do the cast. I'm almost kind of like, because they're starting a new city, which, girl, they just gonna force us to want to watch these ladies of London. So now it's the Real Housewives of London. Like, ain't that just the ladies of London repackaged to us? Like, we don't want the ladies of London. However, we can't get another Martha's Vineyard Summer House. We don't watch them white kids on Summer House for fucking 10 years, but they can only give us 2 seasons of Martha's Vineyard. And yet, every time I turn around, you trying to force us to watch these ladies of London. We don't fool with them. They tried to reboot Ladies of London twice, and now here they are repackaged as the Real Housewives of London. However, my point in that is saying, if they're going to open and add new franchises, then I think it's okay with just maybe ending, or maybe ending that at Housewives of Atlanta, and maybe doing some type of like spin-off with somebody. I don't know, because it's getting to be too much. And I feel like I say, the show has been on 16 years. It is not a scripted show. So the reason why I think it has run its course is just because, unless you're gonna get new girls and start with a fresh new group, and they can all learn each other out without going to get any of these old people. That's the reason why we're discussing an issue between Portia and Shamia that took place a fucking decade ago. Like, why? That's the same thing when somebody say, well, bring Nene back. For what? So somebody can bring something up about what she did 15 years ago. Who talking about that today? Especially somebody over 40. I'll be 45 next month. We're not having hardcore discussions about nonsense that happened 10 years ago. And so even use myself as an example. I'll be 45 next month. This show been on 16 years. That means I started watching this show when I was 30. Since that time frame, I have raised my kids. My youngest child has graduated high school. My oldest son is about to get married. I am not a grandmother at this time, but that's the phase I'm moving to, right? You know what I mean? That's what's going on now. I don't know anybody who doesn't evolve in 15 years. So even the things that would entertain me in my 30s, they maybe don't entertain me as much as at today, because my mindset has changed. My life has changed. Yes, yes. You say, but I'm one of the 50% enjoying the season. I am enjoying the season though. Don't take my criticism as me not enjoying the season. I most certainly am enjoying the season overall. I'm just kind of like I just am looking at the tidbits and I'm just a little bit tired of that. It's kind of like it's not working. It seems to me that Atlanta has run its course. And maybe we need to revamp this into something else. That's it. Because the magic of what we watched way back when, with the days of Nene, Phaedra coming around, Cynthia, all of that, they're over. And at this, like, so same like with me. At this point, what else is there? So same for Nene. Nene could go on Love Hotel. She is single now because rest in peace to Greg. Greg passed away a few years. What I think she said 4 years. I think. So she could go on Love Hotel. Like, and I don't know. Again, maybe they're not doing the ultimate trip because they got to work out some stuff with legal or something. But they need to bring back the ultimate girls trip. I don't know. Pay them people whatever they asking for. So you can get that and bring that back, because that was a really good show, and I thought it was a really good way to bring back our favorite housewives, the housewives we love to watch, and to mix them in with other housewives from the other franchises. I really like that, especially because I watch a lot of the other franchises. So like for me, it's cool, like, because I'm like, oh, I can get to see, Shannon meet Giselle. You know what I mean? Like, right. And Orange County is like a whole nother show on its own, like as far as the housewife like universe go. Orange County housewives feel like they on a planet by themselves. But they seem to be getting along really well because they are both housewives. But y'all, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I was thinking about maybe doing a live for and just like that. So I think I will do that. I think I'll set that up for a little bit later. Maybe about 10 o'clock. Maybe about 10 o'clock. Because I got Nam right now. And I want to take a small little break. So I am going to get, and just like that, if I don't do it live, I'm going to record it and have it posted. Thank you again for joining me once again. I know I was late. I hope you had a good weekend, also a good holiday. I know we at the end of the week, ready for a new weekend, but I had pushed this review back all week, girl. So thanks for joining me. I am going to get better. I promise I'm gonna get better at being on schedule, especially after what happened to me at my job today. I'm so irritated about getting passed up for a promotion that I interviewed for. And so it's just kind of making me like even more focused on, okay, I've got to figure out a different way, because I'm really just tired of somebody else being in charge of my capabilities, what I'm able to make, what I'm going to be able to do, and so forth. So that's what I've been meditating, praying, and trying to figure out, how that's going to work. Okay. Just so y'all know, just giving y'all a little tidbit of my business. So with that being said, if you have not already done so, please make sure you like this video. Always let me know where you are commenting from or watching from. Let me know what you would rate this episode. And also let me know what you are rating the season thus far. They should be filming reunion pretty soon. I know Andy, I think last week put out a post or a tweet about sending in questions. I never send questions, or I never really participate in that part. And Kenya is not coming. Now, here's the funny part. Going back to what I'm saying about being in the land of TV. I know when the thing first happened with her bringing the photos to the salon opening, a lot of us were really invested in questioning if she would be invited to the reunion and if that would be something that they would hash out then. It seemed to have been confirmed, but it still is alleged that she is not coming to the reunion. She also kind of confirmed that in her own when she did her confessional, which was she said she had been invited and then she had been disinvited. I don't know when the disinvite happened, but it does seem to be confirmed that she absolutely is not coming. And here's where I'm at with it. Because that happened, she's gone. Even though I do think Brit should have been gone too, there's no need for Kenya to come back. Like, we all are past it now. And it just feels like if she did come back to the reunion, it would feel unnecessary, like a waste of time. Y'all handled it the way you did. And here we are. So I think it's okay. And that's what I mean about the land of TV. That's why on Family Matters, that girl went upstairs and we never did notice that she never came back down. We didn't even notice that all of a sudden a whole person who was a part of the family just wasn't a part of the family no more. Because that's how TV works. Like, all you got to do is disappear and everybody going to forget about you anyway, i.e. Kenya. We don't want to see her now. When it first happened, it was fresh and it did feel like she should have had the opportunity to speak or, like to hash it out. She did that with her confessional and now we all over. We done with it. So thought I'd just give y'all that to you a bit. So I'm saying that to say when they film the reunion, I wonder if I can find out how many episodes do they have for this season. Because generally when they film in the reunion, it's about close time for them to wrap up the season. I would say they usually might film the reunion within 4 to 5 episodes left, something like that, because they end up watching those episodes so that as they're filming their reunion, they can address the things we haven't been able to see just yet. Anyhow, thank y'all for joining me again. I am going to, like I said, let me hurry up and get up off here so I can take some water, maybe get something to eat. And then we're going to get back on and I'm going to do it just like that because that's my show. I hope it's y'all's too. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I do upload a new video or when I go live, okay? Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the live days. Monday and Friday for certain, because Wednesdays is a little shaky, but that's the schedule that I am trying to stick to, unless I have something planned, okay? And I'll let y'all know about that. All right, until then, thank you so much. Talk to y'all later. Have a good weekend.